We're at the 16th annual National SARIPA Conference in Natal, where all the different heads of auction businesses, business rescue practitioners, insolvency, attorneys are all getting together to discuss how better to help their clients in business rescue. It's a learning conference where people come together to share stories, understand how exactly is business rescue unfolding in South Africa, and is it still relevant?
Welcome to the Corner Office, where we bring you the latest news from the world of commercial real estate, the greatest voices in the industry, and the corporate chats you've been missing. Let's get to it.
We're talking to Aviwe Ndyamara from Tshwane Trust Co., which is obviously one of the biggest insolvency practitioners in the country. They dealt with parastatals and the airlines. It's significant business. So great to have you on today, and we're going to chat a little bit. We're sitting at SARIPA, obviously. A couple of discussions that happen every year and a couple of new discussions. But I think it's great to have you on, because I think I want to get your personal insight on what's happening in business rescue in South Africa. Is it gaining traction? Is it slowing down? Is it getting a sort of better voice? Does it have enough of a voice? Is it governed enough? Is it regulated enough? What do you think? Let's talk overall. What are your views on business rescue? Not insolvency or liquidation, business rescue.
As a business rescue practitioner who manages a portfolio of rescues and having taken business rescue appointments since 2016, I think it's quite an effective restructuring mechanism. If I put myself in a position of a lender, but quite a significant exposure in a company and their securities, I definitely lean towards a rescue process because of looking at a better return than what you might have in a liquidation scenario.
Yes. So
it always depends what hat you're wearing, you know. So, but for the bigger corporate companies where there's certainly cash flows, there is a actual business. I think business rescue is critical and has been successful. If I put on a lender's hat, because we work with a lot of different lenders. From a perception point of view, not as it should be. I think it could be better, and I think it's because really of lack of understanding from various stakeholders.
I almost feel like they should take the rescue out of the name.
Yeah,
you know?
Business restructuring.
Business restructuring.
Exactly.
That's a better name.
I think so.
Rescue is just negative. Yeah. It means that you need to be rescued. It's not helped.
Look, I always work with the analogy. You know, you're terminally ill as in a liquidation scenario. Yeah. Whereas in a rescue scenario, you know, you really can be saved.
Yeah.
You know,
you've got a bad cough.
You've just got a bad cough. You know, so I think that's what it is.
Gotcha.
In fact, I think it's all business restructuring. It just depends on the patient. You know, how ill is that patient?
Yeah.
You know, if you're terminally ill, then you got to look at a permanent solution of getting rid of assets. Yeah. But if you just have a bad cough, it's a turnaround. And I think that's really what it is. It's an effective mechanism. You do need support from lenders, and there has to be new money.
Yeah, post commencement finance. Yeah,
critical.
How much access is there to this post commencement finance?
Look, I think from a DFI point of development financial institutions, they've been leading in providing post commencement finance. I think a business rescue, you've got to be able to at least wash your face every month. You've got to at least be able to pay your monthly operations without considering the repayment of the pre-commencement finance debt. Then there's a prospects of success, but new money is very critical. It's a make or break the ability, cash flow.
So I look at it. You know, I would sort of draw a parallel between private equity players and the business rescue practitioners, right?
Yes.
So exactly those sort of practical implementations, the strategy, what you've got to do, that you've got to wear the same hat. So you could almost imagine that the best business rescue practitioners could also be very good in private equity investment, right?
Yes.
How important is it getting the right business rescue practitioner? You know, you don't want to duff this up, you know, you want strategic advice actually, you know. The companies are saying, we want to be in business rescue, but actually just you get some popcorn and we're just going to play over here, you know. What are the attitudes of the board of directors and the executive in different scenarios? Are they all ears, or are they just, you sit there and we're going to carry on here, but we're now protected by business rescue?
It's a great question. It's one of the most important decisions that a board can make is the nomination of a practitioner. Yeah. Okay, it's critical in quite a few ways. One, reputation, because ultimately the lenders must have confidence in you.
Yeah.
your ability. So reputation plays a critical role. Secondly, your ability, your experience, your skill set, and your access to a network, your ability to provide post-commencement.
That's
a critical thing.
I hadn't thought about it.
It's critical. It's not just your skills. It's your access to network.
Yeah.
I mean, a practitioner, you don't have to have all the skills. You can outsource that. You can insource. You can always build a rescue team. Yeah. It's not one practitioner that turns around. That's not how it works, and they're not miracle workers. So your ability to have a multidisciplinary team, your reputation with lenders, and access to funders, to buyers, to strategic advisory services. So that's critical. Yeah. I mean, it's actually a make or break.
In terms of the actual practitioners, your reputation's on the line almost, because you mess a few up.
Yeah.
Then you get a few less next year.
Yeah.
And then you mess those up, you get a few less the next year,
Yeah.
So your reputation's on the line here. You must get this thing done,
Yeah.
So how much engagement are you having with these companies? You like rock up there at 8 in the morning, have you got a parking place? Or is it like phone you next month? Or
Well, my philosophy, less is more.
Yeah.
We focus on corporate matters. We're fortunate to have a relationship with corporate lenders.
Yeah.
So definitely less is more. Most practitioners, I believe the mistake is they are reactive rather than proactive. You've got to always manage expectations of stakeholders. There's nothing wrong in being appointed and then you discover that there was fraud, then you sit with all the stakeholders, manage the expectation of the success.
Got you.
And terminate. If there's no prospects, there's no prospects.
Yeah.
So managing expectations.
Because I was chatting to one of the banks earlier. I won't mention them.
Yeah.
The branding's red. And I was chatting to one of the banks earlier, and they're saying, listen, one of the annoying things we find is that the process of business rescue must be faster. This exact thing that you've said. If you realize the writing's on the wall, call it a day. We want to take the next step and go,
Yes.
If you think that there's a process, also speak to us and we will try and work with you to try and get this thing over the line. Obviously, they're the biggest stakeholder. They got the most on the line. What you're trying to say there is that in certain cases, the business rescue practitioners are just dragging this thing out and the banks are getting pissed off because ultimately they're saying, listen, time is money. How often are you seeing that?
Yeah. Initially, I think you have practitioners that are appointed by the board of directors.
Yeah.
That would have obviously caused the distress. There's a level of conflict of interest there. There's a level where they listen to the directors rather than deal with the issues that would be in the interest of lenders.
Got you.
So I believe practitioners mustn't work against themselves. At the end of the day, whatever plan you publish, it would have to have been supported by 75% of lenders. Your board of directors as practitioner is your lenders. Those are the stakeholders that you really must listen to. So sometimes, yes, it happens, unfortunately, in any industry where you have some bad apples where they drag matters to delay the inevitable for the benefit of directors. I mean, in any profession that happens, but I don't think that's generally the case. I think there's more engagements. I mean, with SARIPA, this platform, we're talking to lenders, there's relationships that have been built. There is a level of integrity associated with how...
And you find these events quite beneficial?
Of course. Yeah. It's all about stakeholder engagement, even with service providers.
And you think the BRs are learning from one another? You've been in the industry, you said, 14 years now?
Yeah.
So you have significant track record in this space. What about the guys 2 years in?
Yeah.
He's just got his business degree from UNISA and he's still writing his insolvency courses and that kind of thing. How's he learn?
Yeah, I think they've got to pay their school fees. It's really time. Don't diversify your interest. If you're a practitioner,
careers page at Tshwane Trust.
And that's how you build relationships. That's how you build network. That's how you actually market.
Yeah.
You market per project that you get.
Yeah.
So you can't be an auditor and a BRP.
Yeah.
You're running an audit practice. Then you got
to do one or the other.
So you got to commit. You got to make a decision.
Last question before we go. We got a very short amount of time. What's your general sentiment on SA at the moment? The economy specifically, not the politics.
Yeah.
The economy. What's your general sentiment?
Yes, I'm very optimistic. I'm very optimistic. I think the future of successful rescues lies in having a distress fund, in changing a bit the mindset of lenders. I know they're in the business of lending. I think the attitude is changing towards giving rescue an opportunity. And the private equity guys, you know, I'm very positive about their ability to come to the party to look at distressed projects, opportunities. And business rescue, you know, as a child, it's almost 10 years old. It's growing. Yeah. It's maturing. Judges are making...
So what you're saying is we need a website like Property24. It's just Distress24.
Exactly.
And you can go and have a nibble there if you want.
Yes.
Aviwe, it's been lekker to chat to you. I'm sure we'll continue, but I wish I had a little bit more time. But
no problem.
No problem. Yeah, it's been great to chat to you. Thanks for coming to join us.
Appreciate it.